April 1815, the eruption happened on the island of Sumbawa in Indonesia. That's like Java's here. I think Sumbawa's there. The eruption was so big it blew the third up of the mountain off. Thousands of people died in Indonesia.
There were a lot of effects that were felt around the world just from this one eruption. Let's talk about, look at this food, it's yum. Let's talk about food. So a major impact of the eruption was that there were a lot of food shortages pretty much everywhere. Because of the haze that was created by the eruption, there was not a lot of sunlight, which meant that global temperatures dropped. Now most plants, they grow within a certain temperature range, so they aren't able to grow as well and in such numbers.
Talking about food shortage, in Europe, most common and most grown food was oats, because oats meant food for people, oats meant food for horses, horses meant transportation. Because all of this started, transportation costs went up, and so there was this one person who thought that shouldn't work, and so he made a bicycle.
Carl Drey.
Say it all.
D-R-A-I-S. Carl D-R-A-I-S.
For Benjamin Tones.
Sorry?
Drays. It's called the lagging machine, the running machine. Person sits on this thing and runs with wheels.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think that would have made life easier, especially if you live with cobblestones all around you. How the hell is that a better option than just walking?
You know, it reminds me of the electric scooter. How much difference does it make to a regular scooter? You know, like the kid scooter where you put your leg down and you go this. That's so much more, it's just as efficient as the electric scooter.
The story. I promised you the story before. Mary Shelley, who wasn't Mary Shelley yet, and Byron and her future husband were locked in the four walls because he couldn't really go outside because it was constantly raining and the weather wasn't really good after the eruption in Europe in 1816. So they were just chilling in their house, in the villa they rented somewhere in Switzerland, if I'm not wrong. What no one knows is that Byron was running away from a divorce scandal in England. And he was running not just away from the rumors, but from the people who were spreading the rumors and his other lovers, because those rumors most of the time were true. And he ran away to Switzerland. He thought, oh, I would book a house, I would have chilling in the nature. But he met his other former lover, ex-lover. She was the stepsister of Mary Shelley. So it was that girl, Mary, and Percy. They were hanging out together, and then Byron met that group, and he met his past lover, and he was like, yeah, I'll chill out with the past lover. And then he became really fast friends with Percy because they sort of knew about each other from the rumors, and they respected each other's works, and so they became close friends, and they rented two villas next to each other, and they started spending a lot of time together. Byron dares everyone, let's write a scary short story, scary novel. And yeah, Mary writes the Frankenstein, and which becomes famous and the beginning of science fiction novels.
Yeah.
But Byron's private doctor, because of course he didn't come alone. Of course he came with a private doctor.
Yeah.
He writes The Vampire. Byron himself had an unfinished short story based on vampires. So he thought what would happen if I put the vampire like a creature from Eastern Europe into the modern world, see what happens. But he didn't finish the short story. So his doctor took this, wrote the short story, and then he published it anonymously. But he spread rumors that it was Byron who wrote it. And because Byron was the #1 writer at that point in time, everyone bought it real quick, and that's how it became popular.
Oh.
Have you read Frankenstein?
No, but I read Dracula. So basically my cousin brother is a huge book nerd. He has thousands of books. And he's also a huge horror nerd. So he forced me to read this book while he was packing his books away. And I was like, it's just a book. I'm not gonna get scared. I'm not gonna get scared. I got so scared. I was I kept reading one page over and over. I don't know. It's the same cousin who forced me to read Frog.
So we're not really sure how much it actually affected China. So there are opinions that it really affected China. There are real opinions that it might not have affected. There is this popular rumor that all of this caused the butterfly effect, which made opium being grown in China. And I think one of the places was like grown a lot in was Yunnan. And poppy is really easy to grow in different temperatures, so really good to earn money on. So the question is, yeah, fine, they didn't have enough rice in Yunnan. So the problem wasn't money. The problem, in my opinion, it was they didn't have enough rice supply. So how would growing poppy help them with food if they just didn't have food? And you have to like the map of Yunnan, it's like really, the towns are quite small, the areas are really big. So like, for example, if I have money but I don't have food, I'll still have to go somewhere to buy that food, but I don't have food to go there. So in 1820 it became an actual like big time production thing. In 1820 in Yunnan.
Okay.
So that's like 4 years. The dates are close.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't explain the whole picture.
I think in that climate they might have started, like, more and more people would have known about it, which is why it became a bigger time production thing. What happened in India is the monsoon season got, like, delayed, right? And so that caused, like, the rains to be later but more intense, right? So that, because of the heavy rains and a lot of water flooding and everything, spread of cholera increased by a lot. And it spread, like, all the way from, like, Bengal to, like, Moscow, apparently.
Cholera, apparently, it grows in unsalted water.
Fresh water.
I
got salted butter.
And then when the rains come, usually, they would come specifically in the summer. It would flood the area and all the cholera bacteria would be
spread around.
Not just spread around, they would go into the ocean and they would be killed in the unsalted water. So the population would always be sort of contained to a certain region.
Okay.
But then because the summer was really, really dry, the cholera in the summer, it grew so large and then it started spreading. And then when the rains came, it was already too late. Until 1828, it went to Mediterranean and Japan, 1830s Europe and Moscow, and then 1832 past the ocean. And so it took like 14 years to that thing to go anywhere. Yeah. There's this one big theory that for life to happen, you need nitrogen, you need sulfur, you need something else, and you need lighting, like an electric spark. And then you'll have the molecules will combine to make organic matter, which would then develop into life, right? The only place on Earth where this could have happened was inside a volcano. That's like the leading thought nowadays. Like, think of this. So for life to happen, we have to be inside the volcano. So literally inside the planet. So when we talk about Mother Earth, is literally this big Mother Earth. Because we come like from inside of her.
Yeah, it's kind of like a womb.
I couldn't find any other sources that prove that this information is actually like this. But there is a volcano in Indonesia, and there is a legend that a god of thunder, and I think goddess of the earth, married. That's how like life came to be.